welcome back to Waste Some Time with Jason Green. I am Jason Green. It is Monday, but more importantly, it is Memorial Day. And on this day, we remember those who have given the ultimate sacrifice, lost their lives trying to defend our freedom. And it's tricky because a lot of people will say Happy Memorial Day, but it's not a happy day. It's a solemn day and a day of remembrance for those again who paid that ultimate price. We should care about our veterans, excuse me, as well. Separate holiday though. Today is Memorial Day for those who lost, and to the families of people who have lost somebody. They're in our thoughts as well. And it's a shame when people turn a day like Memorial Day into a political thing, or people's children or fortunate sons use it for their own meaning. This world, people use things to their own advantage all the time. Today, it should be nothing more than remembering those who lost their lives. Anyway, that's about as serious as I'm going to get. We're going to have some fun. We'll talk about, I'm only here for an hour, so I'll tell you that much. I got things to do, getting ready to go back out on the road. So we'll talk about everything that's going on and more right after this. Just wanna waste some time with you. Time to see too good to be true. Nobody out there to waste time with you. All right, I'm glad to see so many people joining us today. I got a lot to talk about in a short time. I do want to just quickly make an announcement of sorts, and I know that people are tuning in late, but for those, this is really just for those who are watching in the live chat. We're going to adapt a new policy. It's called One Strike, You're Out, and that, so if you spam or you got complaints, go watch something else. It's all right. There's plenty of things to watch, but should you say something stupid or more stupid than usual, or something that annoys people, we'll just block you, and that'll be it. So anyway, let's get started. I see a lot of people beginning by saying about with Vixen. Only on my show is this news, but apparently there's a lot of people are wondering what is Vixen going to do? Well, if you haven't been paying attention, Lorraine Lewis, the former singer of Vixen, has announced that she is going to, that the band decided to go in another direction without her. And so, when bands travel or tour, you play dates with a lot of them. Stephen Pearcy has the same agent as Vixen. So you get to know those people that are on the roster because you play with them a lot. And then you also get to, you get to know them. And a lot of them have been on the show. Britt Lightning has been on the show. Julia's been on the show. Roxy eventually will be on the show. And Lorraine was scheduled to be on the show, but we'll see what happens. So somebody said to me that they posted some video of someone singing poorly, maybe took a shot at her. I don't know. I think other than Janet Gardner, who cares who's singing in Vixen at this point? And this goes for Skid Row, who I'm going to see this weekend. At some point, can you keep putting the brands out there without the people that made them? It's very tricky. I don't know all the people personally involved. So, but if I was betting the farm, I don't have a farm and I don't really like to bet too often, but I would tell you that they'll come up with some young filly who will be the new singer for Vixen. That's that. I don't think there's anything else to it. It won't be Janet Gardner, and it should be. So anyway, I hope that addressed this Vixen excitement that everybody's talking about. I mean, at the end of the day, what does Vixen play? 10 shows a year? 15 shows a year? 20 shows a year? We'll be all right. Okay, let me take a look at some of your questions. Well, Lorraine was good, but they need Janet back. Yeah, I agree. I just don't think that will happen. And yes, it is all business. John says all the girls in Vixen are hot, especially Brit Lightning. Well, be careful, John. You don't want to be labeled as sexist. Not that there's anything wrong with being sexy. Hey now to you, and thank you. And Jason, would you want to see Gray Ride with Jack Russell as he is now? No, no. That might be the exception. It might be the exception. But Jack physically can't perform. I mean, he can't stand up. It would be sad to just watch. You know, if he could, if he wasn't in the shape he was in. Of course, the first singer should always be the person that you go back to. So anyway, Francis says he loves this shirt. You can get this shirt on the road right now with Stephen Piercy. Go to officialstephenpiercy.com for tour dates and get one of your own. And on the back it says "Round and Round." So that is that. Let's see who's here. Martha is here. Martha, nice to see you. There's a lot of people saying Happy Memorial Day, and I understand the sentiment, but as I said earlier, I'm not so sure Memorial Day is a day to be happy. It's a day to remember those who lost their lives to protect our country and our freedom. So, anyway, so that's why I'm not addressing it in that way. Let's see who else is here. Did I say hello to Martha? Martha, if I didn't say hello, now I said hello. Any shows with Ace Frehley? No. Yeah, Beer is going to get his shirt. Loving some Brit Lightning. Will there be more dates announced this year? Yeah, oh yeah, there's a ton. There's a lot of dates that have not been formally announced. Venues are responsible to make the announcements, or they pick the date, and then you can follow them. So I can tell you we have shows 6 months from now, but they're not ready to release or announce yet. I'll tell you that there's an interesting thing in the music business. I don't know if Sullivan's watching, but maybe he will. He's an agent. Sometimes the people who buy the shows, they don't always know what they're buying. They always sometimes don't care what they're buying. In Las Vegas, I booked bands in casinos for a long time. And I had this thing called Sin City Sinners. And I will tell you that they just wanted the easiest thing. Most of the bands in Vegas stink. If you go see a cover band on any given night, they mostly stink. They're average. They play the same set list. Sin City Sinners was a special thing with some really talented people, namely Todd Kearns and Zach Throne later as well, and Jizzy Pearl. I mean, we had some good. These are frontmen. But I will tell you that the casinos could care less. They don't care if you draw people. They don't care. They just want their job to be easy. Now, they'll say they do research, and they say they do this, and they say they do that. But then go to the shows. You are the consumer. You make the decision. You and your wallet decide. If you want to see some band with one original member, if you want to see a band with two originals, you want to see a band with no original members, well, go spend your hard-earned money and see it. But if you don't see it, then maybe bands will have to, these places will have to book better bands. I can tell you that Stephen Piercy's solo band is the best solo band he's ever had. And it's an incredible lineup. New addition of Blas Elias from Slaughter on drums, and Johnny Monaco on guitar. Eric Ferentinos, who's been with Stephen for over 20 years on guitar as well. And Matt Thorne, who goes back with RATT to 1981. So, so if you want to see it, I mean, I think it's strange. I think sometimes the bills and the agents and the promoters and the bookers make strange decisions. Somebody once said that it's not a popularity contest. Well, it should be. It should be. It shouldn't be over who can sell the most bullshit or hype. I'm talking about bands. It should be about who's got the product and who has the longevity. When I think of a package when you're booking it, it should be who sold the most records. That's one. Who's had the longest career. That's two. And then you can look into who had the most radio play, who has the most headlined arenas. And that's how you can decide with your wallet and your head who they should be, thank you, who you should see. I also find that there's a lot of younger fans watching these bands nowadays who never got a chance to see Vixen with the original lineup or Skid Row or whoever. But so maybe there is a need to have some of these bands. Steve Lynch was supposed to come on the show and talk about the fake autograph legal thing, but there's still some things that are not done, and therefore he could not come on. A lot of questions about East Coast dates. East Coast, East Coast, East Coast. Yes, well, we'll be back. It's a long trip. I mean, I went to Florida for one day. It was tired. Why not get a hold of Jake Ely? Oh, I think you meant for me for an interview because he's a pain in the ass. He's a recluse, and I've talked to him 10 million times. I mean, maybe he would do it one day, but uh, and let's see here. Yeah, more East Coast. Yeah, the Tropicana is not down yet. They did have a final auction, but it's not. It's not down yet. Yes, Dave Sabo has said they're not interested in Sebastian Bach. Well, I mean, listen, maybe Sebastian Bach is the biggest pain in the ass in the world. Maybe he is a complete nightmare. I know him. He hasn't been a nightmare to me, but I don't work with him. I haven't known him for as long as Skid Row has, but they have no interest in him. Okay. They probably have no interest in what fans want to see either. I got to be careful because I got to see these guys this weekend. And I like them, by the way. I only know Scotty Hill personally, but we'll see what happens. I think that Lizzie Hale is a fun experiment. I was against it at first, but it's better than seeing some local cover band singing Kid, I think. But listen, I can't get. I'm getting already too political with the music business. Clint enjoys my flight reviews on Instagram. What I do on Instagram, you should follow me, JSIN_Green. It's just a small sample of what goes into the tour diaries. I kind of give you a little something. As far as Patreon goes, and as far as channel memberships go, once we reach 20,000, we're going to start doing giveaways to those who are channel members and to who are Patreons. And we're going to do giveaways. We're going to do member only chats. Some people watching the show, particularly when Wednesday is here, are a little too young, and we need to talk like adults sometimes. So we'll do all that. Bullet Boys are all original members. Bullet Boys should be called Bullet Boy because there's only one. It's Mark Torian. Watch my interviews on the show with the other members. They've got issues, but okay. All right. I'm just trying to, and I will tell you that right now everyone's being well behaved. Most YouTube live shows, when the host does the show, they don't take every comment like I do. You super chat, and if you super chat, they take your comment. So you should keep that in mind. If I get annoyed, I'll just, well, anyway, I wasn't fishing for super chats, but I'm happy to have one. Will you and Johnny move back to Hollywood when Sepp retires? I never call him Sepp. I never have. And when other people did it sounded strange. I didn't even know that was because the Eric is his middle name. I had no idea. Would you and Johnny move back to Hollywood? Thank you, AZ, by the way. Well, Johnny only lived in Hollywood for a short time while going to GIT. And I only lived in Hollywood on and off a couple short times. I was working on a screenplay with Puck from The Real World. I worked on The Real World. I spent some time in Trump. I was there between 94 and 95. Would I move back? No chance. Not for me. I saw someone in here say they were watching from Henderson. Here it is. This is Wayne. Henderson patrons saying, hello, do negotiate the fee for Stephen for each gig. Well, first, I'm looking at real estate in the Henderson area. So maybe we'll be neighbors. I do not negotiate. I'm not an agent. So I don't negotiate. But I'm good at it if I had to. Okay. And if and these questions come fast, so I can't really tell. Stacy says Rob Affuso said he would join Skid Row's back. They're all just talking. They know that it's not going to happen. So I don't know what to say about it. Let's take a look. Some of these questions, comments, you just read for So, yeah. This was an interesting thing. I will tell you that I put out a tour diary where we visit the Motley Crue house, which is on Clark Street, right around the corner from the whiskey. And I said what the rent is. And I have never seen people get so upset and couldn't believe it. When we said that 2,100 a month wasn't bad, people freaked out. They have no idea about real estate. Maybe where you live, things are great. But Las Vegas has become a major city. New York is a major city. And California is a major city. And rents are high. To live a block away from Sunset, next to the whiskey, is not going to be cheap. You could do you all day long. You could. Sorry, I see an FMK and it caught my eye. Anyway, $2,000 for rent, even in a small apartment in Hollywood, is a good deal. Trust me, I know people who live there. Larry says Steven sounds absolutely phenomenal. Let's talk real quick about the FMK game, and we'll move on. Some people got butthurt, disturbed by it, and Daryl always asks the best ones, and our Showers agrees. But some people get upset. Well, I want to stress to you that this is a show that is intended for adult, humor. And there's nothing X-rated. There's nothing uh, um, illegal. And the people in the FMK game are always at least over 18 years of age, but in a lot of cases, 21. Some of these broads are even older. But for anyone who's thinking that's offended, don't let the door hit you in your ass. I did think maybe I should be more. Maybe I got to clean up my act. Maybe I got to kiss all your asses and just do the same show as everyone else and tell you how I signed days for. No, that's sorry, it's somebody else. But I don't want to do that. So FMK is on. Mayim Bialik, who played Blossom, who my grandparents tried to set me up with through her grandparents when I grew up in Florida. I was just in that area again. Jenna Von Oy, who played Six on Blossom, and Danielle Fischel, who is Topanga on Boy Meets World. This is a tough one. You're going to say I'm crazy. Um, I haven't seen Jenna Von Oy in a while, Six, but I'm a fan, so I can't dismiss her. And Blossom, even though she's not she's so famous, and she was on that show, and she has money. I'm going to F Blossom, but would I marry Jenna Von Oy Six or Danielle Fischel? Is so tough. I know most people are saying Topanga. Don't be crazy. I think I'm going to go with Topanga for right now, but this is the toughest one ever. Daryl, nice job. And as you can see, I take this show very serious, and I plan on doing things how I like. But yeah, and for those who are upset, I don't care. Yeah, I was like this. Well, I know people were not going to be a fan of Mayim Bialik Blossom, but what are you going to do? Did you go to the Gazzari for any shows? No, I'm not old enough. I wasn't even there when I was there. What are you talking here? You lost me on that pick. Oh, I know. Everyone's upset. I know. The Blossom is so famous, and that to say that I had relations with Blossom carries so much more weight than those other choices. And listen, what are you going to do? And thank you. So let me talk to you a little bit about what I've been up to, because I got to stick to a schedule today. I was in the Florida area, and so we left on Thursday to get to Florida. You always leave the day. You leave a day before the show just in case any problems. And I want to clean this up. It was Friday, not Thursday. So we left. Johnny Bloss and I flew from Las Vegas to Atlanta, and from Atlanta to Fort Lauderdale, Florida, where, as I said, I spent my summers as a kid growing up. Eric, poor Eric, always has the worst flight problems. He had a 3-hour maintenance delay. He had to get off the plane, and then they call that deplaning. And he didn't make it. He had to stay. Well, he's alive, but he didn't make it there. He had to stay in Atlanta for the night. Matt had a similar problem coming out of California, and also had to spend the night in Atlanta. Stephen also had a connection problem and also spent the night. His night was in Texas. So we had to go and get his bags off the flight, and we had a lot of work, a lot of things going on, and make sure everyone was able to make it to that gig. And but the next morning they arrived, tired, but they arrived, and so anyway. But that's why you come in the day before. Everyone was fine. The show went on. I'd like to say a thank you to Michael Perez. He's watched the show for a long time, channel member, although Patreon, all that stuff. He's very supportive, and he yeah, he came to soundcheck to bring me gifts. Listen, you don't have to bring me gifts, but did I get the right comments? But anyway, I appreciate gifts. So he said one of the things he said he heard me talking on the custard episode. The custard episode is 2.5 years now, but so he said that on that show he heard me talk about how I once lived behind Liberace's place, which is true. I did, and he got me this. This is a NECA head knocker, and it is the Liberace one, and it's very cool. I usually own the box is yellowed quite a bit. You know, this is an old piece, and Liberace, everybody's favorite bachelor. Unfortunately, he passed without getting married. I just don't think he found the right woman. But anyway, Liberace. What year is this thing from? 1812. I don't see a year on it, but I may display it out of the box. I'll keep the box, but I think Mr. Lee will go into my collection. I don't know, but anyway, it's for children 8 and over, because under 8 you're not going to know who Liberace is, but over 8 you will. And then he said, I saw on your live chat another thing that you were talking about, and he said, and I did mention, everyone knows I collect vacation related memorabilia. I'm a huge fan of Chevy Chase and the vacation movies, and so in the first scene, when the first scene, but early in the movie, Clark is in his office and he's drinking out of a Tasmanian devil cup. I say hello to a few people. Lilith, who I believe is a new-ish member, I think. So thank you for being a member. I appreciate that. You guys should do it too. So anyway, he drinks out of the Tasmanian devil mug. And someone asked me on the show if I had one. And I said, no, but I probably should, because I collect so much stuff. Well, I didn't want an imposter. I wanted the exact mug. They sell all kinds of Tasmanian devil mugs, but I wanted the real one. I wanted one from 1989. And right here on the bottom, copyright Warner Brothers, who made Christmas Vacation, 1989. So this is an authentic. It's not the actual one that he drank out of. Although, I could go to one of these appearances that he does and then have him hold it. And then, anyway, thank you, Michael, for the nice gifts. Also, I got to thank Troy. Troy came to the show, and he's been asking me about having Gene Odom on the show for quite some time, which I hope we can work it out. He was a tour manager for the band Lynyrd Skynyrd, and he was nice enough to bring us all signed copies of Gene's book. It's called It's called Lynyrd Skynyrd, Remembering the Free Birds of Southern Rock, and Gene survived the crash, and it was nice enough to sign it to me. It says, "Waste some time with Jason Green. I hope you enjoy this book, Gene Odom." And it was a very nice gift. And I said to him, I gave them to everybody, because he got the next morning. I made sure Matt and Eric had theirs. Anyway, I said this would be some good light reading on the plane. I'm sure the people sitting next to us will be thrilled when we pop open our books, and then people next to you, oh, what are you reading? Oh, a book about a band. Oh, yeah, what's it about? Plane crash. So anyway, I appreciate it. It'll go into my signed book collection, which I also have a lot of. Speaking of other collectibles and books and things, last night when I got home, and I'll get to this in a minute, but we're jumping around. I got home and Sean Clark was nice enough to pick up these RATT tour books from Japan. He texted me from Japan and asked me if I would like them. The answer was yes, I would. For uh, my personal collection of memorabilia, I wanted to have these. They're hard to show because of the thing that you see right there. Anyway, this one is from 1987. It's an incredible condition. Mr. Udo, the promoter at the time, he's passed since. Probably had a million of these things laying around somewhere, and someone got a hold of it. And this one is a 1986. Japan takes great pride in tour books and exclusive memorabilia. When I worked with Winger, they were very insistent on a tour book and a poster that's exclusive to Japan, and also that you do something different. They want something different. Play a full album. So anyway, I thank Sean Clark Malfunction on YouTube. He has a video that came out today of him shopping in Japan, and he picks those up, and he mentions that yeah, I got them, and I guess Jason saw it. He says here that my tour books are featured on Sean's latest video. Talk a little bit about Sean and I going to see a Devo last night, but everyone's enjoying this. Okay, so show was in Fort Lauderdale. I was tempted to go visit where my grandparents lived, and I spent my summers, but time was short. It was a quick trip. Not every trip is filled with fun and recreation, but we did it. It was a 90-minute show. I think 90 minutes is too long, even for a band that I love. Sometimes it's better to get in and get out. But anyway, we did the show. So nice to meet as many people as I did who watched this show, including the guy who booked the venue. His name was Joe. He told me, I met your agent, Sullivan, at a convention, and then I went online to check out who I wanted to see, and he said he saw a lot of my videos, and he said he learned from watching this show who to book and who not to book. I hope that doesn't hurt Queensryche's bottom line. Anyway, so that was nice, and a lot of people got to appear on it. You'll see them coming soon. And yes, Japan takes fan consumerism to another level. Skylar says, Baltimore Aquarium Tour Diary was very educational. Well, I'm glad that you watched it. Not a lot of people are watching it. YouTube is a strange thing. People watch things based on algorithms and this and that. It's a great episode. If you enjoy seeing me or Matt Thorne or Johnny Monaco, then some of the stuff I don't understand. Anyway, then you want to tune in and watch that episode. It's a really fun one. We get lost in a snowstorm and we can't find a place to eat. Matt and I go to a very expensive seafood meal that Johnny declined because we were going Dutch. And then we went to an aquarium, and yes, Matt has an incredible knowledge of sea life. I was impressed with Matt's knowledge of fish. As I said, we have to clean up our act a little bit, and hey, Ron Jeremy's here. Speaking of cleaning up our act, good to see you. As you know, he only wakes up to do this show, and then he returns into the coma that he was in. Anyway, if you haven't seen that tour diary, what are you waiting for? Oh, here's Michael Perez. Thank you, Michael, man of the hour. Great meeting everyone. Was so friendly, and Stephen the band, great. Johnny's new album is worth the wait. Yeah, well, absolutely. Thank you, Michael. Okay, so yes, you learned about the wax frogs. There was a lot going on in that one. And anyway, so watch it. Go to the tour diary. Go to my channel and watch it. Like it, comment, subscribe. Try to, I got to say, I can't do these things forever. It's not gonna. If people aren't watching them, I'm just not gonna do them. Let me tell you a little something about this channel. Some people have more subscribers than me, and some people have whatever, but a lot of it's bullshit. And by that, I mean, I don't share my own content. You won't find me sharing stories and reels of other concerts or other people or other interviews. This is only content I create. I can make a bunch of shorts of famous bands and try to lure you in. I could go to concerts and film them and try to lure you in. But how many subscribers actually watch the videos? That's how you know. If you see someone who has 50,000 subscribers, but their videos are getting less than 1,000, maybe they're only getting 100 views. Guess what? The subscription thing's not working. We have a very high uh, intention here of people who not only subscribe, but watch the videos. And anyway, so I appreciate that. And yes, Matt Thorne is the Jacques Cousteau of rock and roll. Anyway, um, so, okay, we got through that. We came home. It was a long flight. It was a long way to go for one show. I say this all the time. If your favorite band comes to see you, make sure you go see them because they came a lot further to you than you came to them. Yes, there is new merch. Actually, hold on. I'll show you some more new merch. I got to just put you on hold for a second if I can remember how to do that. Jeez. It's not working. Hold on, guys. I want to show you. I mean, there's all kinds of cool merch. Of course, this shirt, and it says round and round on the back. And then the new trucker hats, which I love and I'm wearing. That's why this one's a little messy. But anyway, new trucker hats. And you should be getting one of these. Come out to a show, pick one up. Go to a meet and greet and have Steven sign it in a nice silver deco paint pen. That's my advice to you. So anyway, there's some new stuff. Just lost my hat. See what else you guys want to say. Oh, thank you so much. Entertainment videos and more great channel. Appreciate that. I only subscribe to half a dozen channels. This channel is the most intelligent of all, let alone 90% of the absolute trash. Well, there's a lot of trash, and I think we're pretty intelligent too, especially when we talk about FMKs with the cast of Blossom, Meets Boy Meets World. A lot of people watch this on the replay. Yes. Uh, I'm sorry. Sometimes I can't read what you say. Yeah, the hat is great. Randy Martin asks, any word on Oz Fox? Oz is doing well. He's up and about, and he's going out to eat, and he's still in California, just staying close to his doctors. But thank thank you to everybody who supported Oz and bought a T-shirt that goes towards his medical bills. So thank you. I'm not fishing for all these compliments, but of course, I will take them. I will tell you that there's a lot of merch. Thank you, Mitch. There's a lot of merch coming in this way. I know you guys hear me say it, but it's coming. I promise. We got some cool stuff. By the end of the year, you're going to say I made too much stuff. And thank you, Lilith. That's nice of you. Always looks forward to the videos. When will Heather be back? Well, soon. Soon. I enjoyed Heather, and I don't care what anyone else thinks. And that's how this is going to work. So she will be back, and we'll have some fun with her as well. Okay, so this week, what am I up to? Well, tomorrow I'm flying to California, and I'm going to go see the New York Yankees play the Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim. I think that's the bullshit name that they call it now. They were the LA Angels, but they thought then they became they're not really in LA, they're in Anaheim. They became the Anaheim Angels. But they wanted to keep LA in the title. And so your pick, Dangerous Toys for Faster Pussycat. It's not even a competition, not even close. Faster Pussycat. And that's on. And listen, just because I had Heather Leather on here doesn't mean I need every influencer. That's the other thing that's happening now. You should have this one, and you should have that one. You should. I like Heather. We'll stick there. And let's see. What was I going to say? I get lost in my thoughts. But so anyway, I will go see the Yankees. I try to get I try to get Sean Clark to go. He doesn't like baseball. As amazing as that is, likes other sports. Baseball, obviously, the best sport. It's slow moving. That's what we like about it. I like to take a nice time, enjoy a game, see people running back and forth and knocking stuff over. Yeah, so. Oh, geez, Dr. Paul, thank goodness you're here. He's been working on his new place, Paul Ilago. He lost track of time, but yes. Interviews I can't talk about, very top secret. If I announce the level of fame of the people that are coming up, everyone else will go and try to do the same interviews as me. And damn it, I'm tired of my show being the blueprint for everybody else. Yeah, I expect the Yankees to beat the Angels badly. I hope so. But I do make my pilgrimage there. I might go 2 games in a row. Then I'm flying out of Burbank with Matt Thorne to go to Reno, night in Sacramento, and then back home. I've got a really busy schedule coming up. Just follow me on Instagram to find out what's next. That's my best advice. When I see Vixen in June, they will have a new singer. Yes. I've heard who it is. It wasn't that interesting. No offense. Okay. Wow. Sorry, Sam. Sam says, isn't any power through 3 days due to the tornado hitting us and destroying everything. And the first thing I do back when I get my phone on and I see a new Jason Green video. Well, I hope that I can help entertain you a little bit. Bob Hope Airport. Yes, one of my favorite airports. Some of this stuff I fish around to make sure. Well, sorry, I'm talking to myself. I don't have anybody. There's no guest today. Should have Heather on with W13 would be a great threesome. Three of you together. Yeah, well, it could happen. We'll see. Okay. I just stop and I read these questions. Some of these questions are just so stupid. Sorry, not all of you. Most of you are very intelligent. Anyway, so that's what's going on in that world. I want you to watch that tour diary before I put another one out. I was going to put out one Monday, but you know what? Not enough people have watched the Baltimore one. Next one is done. Come out Friday. There will be no live show this Wednesday. And so, and thank you, people who are asking to interview me. As of right now, I'm not going to do any interviews, but I appreciate it. I'm glad anyone cares. Unless the channel has 100,000 subscribers, then I consider it. But otherwise, I'm on here. People want to talk to me. There's a stalker present, and then Jeff watches all the tour diaries. So thank you. Yeah, some people you gotta ring the bell for notifications. I don't like to say all that nonsense, but if you want to know when a video first comes out, or watch Instagram, my Instagram, JSIN_Green. That's where I make the announcements when I decide to go live. Most people plan things out months in advance. I figure it out 5 minutes before I go on live. There's my Instagram handle, as they say. So, if anyone has anything that they would like to talk about, I got a few more minutes, but then I got to get out of here and I got to pack as well. And okay, I'm gonna put this person in timeout, and Peg, Kelly, or Marcy? Well, Marcy's not interested in what I have to offer. Gonna marry Kelly. Gonna F Peg. Goodbye, Marcy Darcy. Okay, see. Some people who are new here don't know what FMK is. You can always Google it, I expect. Mandy asks a good question. What are the top 5 bands that I like that people would expect? I'd have to think about it. Unfortunately, my brain doesn't work as well as it used to. But you would be surprised, yeah. Believe and achieve. Hello from Canada. Well, thank you. Will we ever see the Ramones movie? I don't know. The Pete Davidson movie is a Joey Ramone movie. Linda Ramone could stop them from using anything other than Joey Ramone's likeness. She could stop them from using the music of the band, much like the CBGB's movies that they did that with. That movie, they fought them from anything interesting. Mm, mm, mm. Cher, Charo, Jane Fonda. Is that now or 70s? 70s, please. As famous and fun as these all are, probably going to F Jane Fonda. Barbarella is what I'm talking about. It's tough. I don't want to marry any of these broads. Can you imagine being married to Charo, Coochie Coochie all night? Oh, goodness gracious. You'd probably marry Cher, I suppose. I'm way too old for Cher. She likes them young. The kids watching would be so offended. How's Christy Adair doing? I haven't seen her in the tour diary. Just because you don't see someone doesn't mean there's anything wrong. I don't show her all the time. I don't show Steven all the time. It's not always about that. And I'm just so annoyed with some people's nonsense. You don't have to ask the same question. If I didn't answer it once, it means I don't care. That's kind of how we play that game here. That's not what I wanted. Who cares? Who is the current lineup for Brittany Fox this year? They're open for Quiet Riot, or I wouldn't be attending. Well, you have one bass player from Quiet Riot, Rudy Sarzo, and you have one bass player in Brittany Fox, Billy Childs, and that's it. I think I settled that for you. Billy says he's going to be on the show. But ever see the Dolls? I saw the later Dolls. I saw the Dolls with Sylvain, David Johansen, Sam Yaffa, Steve Conti, and I don't remember who played drums. They went through a few drummers. So anyway, yeah, I mean, I saw that version of the Dolls a few times. And, it was good, pretty good. Anyway, I thank you all for watching, and Mandy says I should come to North Carolina and let Wednesday show me around. Well, could happen. That could happen. We got all kinds of stuff going on, and I don't know. So far, I haven't been fascinated with any topics. I'm trying to get something going with you guys. You know? The Outsider's House was incredible. If you ask somebody who doesn't like the movie, they're not going to give you a good answer. There's some people who do things just for content. I do things because I like them. And that's the answer to that. I don't know. Someone's saying that Motley Crue realized John 5 was not a good fit. Well, he's not a good fit, but Motley Crue doesn't realize anything. They're always going to make bad decisions. Thoughts on Lorraine Lewis out of Vixen? I talked about it at the top of the show. The answer was, if it's not Janet Gardner, who cares? And it's not. So whatever. These bands have a right to do what they want. I hope it's entertaining. Dr. Paul is tired of seeing old men in stretch pants. Old man ass, excuse me. I went to see Devo last night. Sean Clark and I got off the plane. I came home for like a half hour. I met Sean. We went to a movie prop store, museum, and store downtown Fremont Street. I don't think they realized that the great Sean Clark was in their store and knew more about their stuff than they did, I think. But there was some interesting stuff. The only thing we were really impressed with was this helicopter from the movie Blue Thunder. It's amazing that that's what we were all interested in. Took our pictures. And then we went to see Devo at the Punk Rock Bowling. I've gone to Punk Rock Bowling a million times. This was the worst lineup I've ever seen. Who cares about these bands? I never heard of half of it. Maybe I'm old, but I think you got to have some legends. When I went one night, Iggy Pop headline, Bad Religion. These are the kind of bands you've got to have. You got to have something. Back up the Brinks truck and get the Sex Pistols reunion. Then maybe your silly Punk Rock Bowling will be a bigger festival. The Misfits. There's something legendary. I didn't know. I didn't know what I was watching. I couldn't even tell you the names. Uh, but I did watch Devo, and it was very, very good, enjoyable, and recommend it. Supposedly, they're kind of going to retire soon, but boy, was it fun! And I've wanted to see them for a long time, and I've listened to Devo on and off for a while. It's sort of fun, but you wonder if something like that would be boring live. Can you pull off things like that? Can you play songs like Mongoloid? Is that politically correct? I don't know, but uh, but it was very good, and the costume changes and the stories that they show on the screen and the visuals made it good. And they also didn't play too long. I didn't need hours and hours and hours of it. There are clips on my Instagram of me at the Devo concert if you would like to look at it. Yeah, this Justin, you make a good point. These are some of the bands: Pennywise, No Effects, Bad Religion. These are the type of bands that should be there. Even then, some of the smaller ones like the Addicts or some of these bands are still, um, active, and that's punk rock. The headliner tonight, it's going on again tonight, is Madness. I don't think Madness is a punk band. I don't think Devo's a punk band. I'll let Devo slide a little bit more than Madness, but Adolescence was the first night, I think. Descendants, Adolescence, can't even remember. Sean went, um, uh, but I was out of town. And that's punk at least. But everything since, I think it could have been better. The X, there's plenty of bands. Damned, there's things that could have been on there that I think would have made for a better night. All right, Karen says, "Come on, support Jason. Press the thumbs up button to make him smile." Well, I don't think I'll smile, but it would be nice. Uh, All right, a lot of random conversation going, and we're very small on super chatting, which is okay. No one has to super chat, but I'm going to get out of here. It's been an entertaining little time, and I hope that you guys enjoyed this episode. I hope that some of you are going to come out to see Stephen Piercy and Sebastian Bach. Excuse me. I took a drink. To see Skid Row, Stephen Piercy and Skid Row minus Sebastian Bach. Come to see. Well, it was nice seeing you as well, and thank you. I will have a fantastic time at the baseball game. You're not going to see me live on here for a while. Got things to do, places to go, people to see. Watch the tour diaries, watch the interviews. There's so much content on here that maybe you haven't seen yet, and now is your chance. I'm just putting up your last. Would they ever come to New York City? New York City doesn't really book bands like that anymore. That genre does not do well in New York. There's some small venues, but it's very expensive. My family lives in New York City, so I will be back in New York City soon, I believe. But I don't know if we'll get the band there. And I'm trying to see before I leave. I'm saying goodbye, but it's a long kiss goodnight. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to just jam it in. All right. Yeah, AZ says, everyone open your checkbooks. Yeah, thank you. AZ did. AZ thinks with his wallet. And yes, you might go through Jason Green withdrawal, but there's plenty of other things to watch. Thank you, Lorraine. Thank you, entertainment. Well, I'm sorry, Lilith. What could happen? You never know. I don't want to rule it out completely. Have you gone through the Punk Rock Museum of Famous Guide? No, I did it. Yeah, me. I guided myself. It was nice. And electrically still the village. Yes, it is. All right. We're hard to get a good conversation, but at least I think we are all nice people. King of all content. I like that 80s guy. I've been trying to think of a title for myself. And all right. I'll see you guys again. Have a good night and a pleasant tomorrow. Or I don't know what that is. Hold on. How do I get out of here? Just wanna waste some time with you. Sometimes it seems too good.